Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mexico-South Korea post-game coverage. Mexico secured first place in their group, beating South Korea 1-0. And with that, I'm going to crack open a cold one. Welcome, everybody. Mexico, in a very, very suffered match against South Korea, were able to secure the 3 points and officially securing first place in their group. Que momento over there en el Estadio de Chivas. Incredible highlights there. And really a game where we had to suffer. And at moments in the game, there was a lot of anxiety. Korea were a worthy opponent. I said it last night. It was not going to be easy. I don't know why people thought that this was going to be a walk in the park. They were a worthy opponent. It was a cat and mouse game. And early on in the match, you could see that it was going to be very, very tactical. And honestly, if it wasn't for a blooper on the goalkeeping end, this game would have ended in a draw. So let's not forget that. Sufrimos mucho. My asshole's a little sweaty right now. But in the end, we got the victory. And honestly, in a World Cup run, they are defined by moments like this where you get a little bit of luck along the way. And Luis Romo shutting up the haters. Everybody was questioning the lineup today. And Luis Romo's comments earlier in the week saying that they weren't obligated to win this match. I think it was taken a little bit out of context. And there were people on Twitter saying that he's been erased from the team because of those comments. Well, they can all shove it because he was the man of the match with his goal, just right there at the right time. And an incredible moment for him. You know, they played in el Estadio de Chivas, and they lined up with 4 Chivistas, with Rangel, with Brian Gutierrez, with Luis Romo, and Piojo, who had an incredible defensive match. We're live on Twitter Spaces. We're live on YouTube. So everyone, please request to speak, and we will get you guys going. But this was a great test for Mexico. Tienen que sufrir. Tienen que aprender a sufrir. There was moments in the game where Korea held on to possession for 30 or 40 passes in a row. Absolutely nothing they did with it. But nonetheless, I think it left the fans a little anxious. And, shout out to the fans that showed up in Guadalajara today. They were the 12th man. Let's see if we can get Joel or Habibi to speak up. Welcome, gents.
Hey, everyone. It's a good night, a happy night. I just want to say that I ended the last episode saying Viva Chivas, Viva Mexico, and it was intentional. I said that el Estadio Akron iba a pesar más que el Azteca. The crowd is smaller in attendance. Pesó más. Play it. And then today, the goal by a Chiva Hermano. The big save of the game by a Chiva Hermano. So I know it's the World Cup. I know we're not talking about clubs. Pero hay que ponerle más respeto al Club Deportivo Guadalajara y a su afición.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. I wanted to take the Chivas shirt off today, but obviously there was a huge impact with Luis Romo, although there were at times that he frustrated me. But Tala Rangel finally getting his flowers. Everybody was talking shit about him, that he's too nervous, that he's got butterfingers, that he's not, that they should start Ochoa. And he had such a decisive save in the match in the late goings. It was a header and he got his hands on it, and then the rebound, he was able to hold on to it. I honestly thought they were gonna concede that goal, but really, really important, starting off your World Cup campaign with 2 clean sheets.
And I don't even understand the hate. I was watching it on the Peacock stream, and I don't know if it was Guardado or the other guy, but right after that save, they said, El Tala necesitaba esto.
Yep.
Después de lo que ha pasado este mundial. Now I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I've been watching every World Cup game. The Portugal keeper came out really bad. I've seen multiple goalkeepers come out really bad, and it does not result in a goal. Like they're like making it look like whatever quote unquote mistake he's had
Hmm.
has led to goals and has hindered the team. I just don't understand like that exaggeration of like he needed this moment. Like I understand like it gives him confidence to have a big save, but at the same time like they're making it look like he's been like the worst man on the team.
Well, I think there were a lot of skepticism around Rangel being the starting goalkeeper and looking shaky in that first game. And in a World Cup, you need to know that your guy's going to be there for you. And Rangel needed to have one of those like iconic moments in the World Cup, kind of like Ochoa did against Brazil in his first World Cup as a starter. I think Rangel needed to be tested in that matter and to kind of give everyone that sigh of relief, like, okay, this guy actually is good, and he got that moment today. So I'm super proud of him. Obed Vargas got his debut today, and he looked really sharp. He had that shot that should have ended in the back of the net if it was not for some heroics on the goalkeeping end from South Korea. There was also that beautiful, beautiful cross from Piojo Alvarado to Quinones, and unfortunately, it didn't end in the back of the net. Mexico, that's it, man. They only had a handful of chances in the game, and Korea had even less. There was only 2 corner kicks in the entire game, and they happened damn near in stoppage time when we were all sweating a little. But overall, this was, again, a really good test. I'm glad that this happened in the group stage. And most importantly, we can breathe. We secured first place. And hey, I'm going to do my hot take right now. Rotate the entire fucking team against Czechia. Let's see everybody else that's been waiting to get some moments. I'm looking at you, Hormiga. Hell, I'll even let them to have Ochoa get his flowers in El Azteca because that's going to be his
He
only
will.
chance.
He will. It's going to happen. And then going replying to everything that you said, Obed, 20 years ago, does someone tell you that the first player from Alaska to play in the World Cup, and they ask you, guess which country? You're going to say the USA? Mexico, papa. Like, who would imagine that? The first player from Alaska to debut in the World Cup para Mexico. I mean, that in itself is crazy. Piojo, he's been doing what he did in the first leg, being consistent. Those first 10 minutes, he was playing right back and he was doing well. And then he generated a chance with an assist that could have been a goal. Hopefully there's a lot of hate that is calming down. And like you were talking about Tala, same thing. Like that moment right there won the neutral fan over.
Mm-hmm.
I had people in my group chat message me and say, I don't know if Ochoa would have made that save. And
Hatrick.
I
I'm calling out Hatrick right now. He's one of those fucking haters. Hopefully he hops on later.
And you're gonna have Americanistas that bring up 2014 against Brazil. And they're like, oh well, he did that save against Brazil, but we're talking about the present.
Exactly.
If right now Ochoa at his age in this moment, because it was a double save. The
It
first
was.
save Ochoa makes, but getting back up
Right.
and using that save, I don't know if Ochoa makes that due to his age,
Those
not hating on his
reflexes.
talent,
Mm-hmm.
his shot keeping.
And
But
also
no, it was
the
it
arm
was a
length
good
too.
game.
The
Yes, and it was a
yeah.
good game that gave fans that trust.
Yeah. There were times in the moment in the match, especially in the first half, where the fans booed, but they were booing Korea because they had possession. There was like a lull in the game where Korea had straight possession for like it felt like 30 minutes. Like it was a weird end to the first half, by boos. And I was just like, where is this goal gonna come from? Because I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming from anybody. It seemed like we were really struggling to generate anything in the final third. And it was a lot of cat and mouse. It was a lot of having to break lines. And Ensid Alvarez in the first half, he was frustrating me because he wasn't precise with his passing, and he was trying to basically catch Quinones or Raul, but they were just way too heavy passes. I will applaud him. He had a fantastic second half, and he shut me up for sure. He had an incredible second half defensively, and worthy of the captain's armband today for sure. We didn't really miss Cesar Montes. We have Rifalo joining us. Welcome, Rifalo. Talk to me.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I have some egg on my face. I said we were gonna dominate and win by 2 goals, but unfortunately, we dominated and only won by 1 goal. So I apologize to the listeners. I just want to sort of chime in that and then give my flowers to Obed Vargas. Habibi was talking about how he is like the first person from Alaska to represent anyone in the World Cup, and he represented us of all countries, right? You would imagine like Russia or Canada or the USA, right? But no, he represented Mexico. But when he came on, like the speed in which we could like travel up the pitch increased significantly. I don't know why this kid is not starting. He was in on goal, he was tracking back, shutting down plays, he was everywhere. And maybe he can't do that for 90 minutes, but I think he's got to be doing it for longer than he is right now.
Do you think it was due to the context of the game as well, where Korea's like chasing to equalize the game, where it gave us the opportunity to do that a lot more instead of like a cat and mouse where we saw the first half?
I think Bosco was very pragmatic in his approach to this game, and we saw that with the starting 11 with Bromo and Lira as a double pivot, or like at times it was really like five in the back with 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 our players, and he did that kind of to mirror Korea and their five in the back. A lot of coaches opt to do that.
And I can agree with that. I think this is one of those games that, if you're a casual fan and you go for the first half, like you only tune in during the World Cup, you're probably like, this is boring. Like, why is everyone excited about this? But me, I thought it was beautiful. Like, it was like a perfect chess
People on
match.
Reddit were talking mad shit like
Oh
on
my
our
god.
soccer.
Fucking casuals, bro.
Yeah, that's a casual thing, and to me, I found it lovely. Like, look, both teams they want to see they're sniffing each other out, and whoever gets that goal is gonna
Mhm.
open it up. The draw, keeps them alive for first place, and it comes down to the third game. And then also with the Lira situation you were talking about, you're right. A lot of casuals will also say, "What's up with Brian? I don't get the hype. Like he's not that good." But if you notice, like he didn't really have another midfield to connect with. He didn't have that Fidalgo. He didn't have that Mora. He didn't have that Luis Chavez. So it was a very pragmatic game from Vasco. But at the same time, it's are we here to dominate and look beautiful, look sexy, give everyone a hard on? Or are we here to survive and move on to the next round because it's only 8 games?
So, in spite of Brian's numerical disadvantage in the attack, he still managed to create some clear cut moments. I think most notably that one chance for Gallardo, who went wide. I thought he should have crossed it, but he opted to shoot. And there was another handful of moments in which he looked good, but I was disappointed that we were ceding possession to Korea. I think we have like the midfield quality to outplay them, but I don't think we have the coach to do or that is interested in doing that. And that's why we had the approach we saw today.
It was a game of chess, and Korea, like I said, there was moments in there early on in the match where they had the ball the goalkeeper had the ball and he was holding on to it for a little bit longer. He was trying to see if we would press up high so then he could try to break our lines. And I saw that very early in the match. And I think Korea, once they saw that we weren't playing into that game, that's when they kind of were submissive and let us have the ball a little bit more. But then, I don't know, something happened after the water break, and Korea just held on to the ball for a lot of the remainder of the first half. And that's where there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension, a lot of nervousness. But I think Mexico did a really good job preparing for this match. And Aguirre, again, his pragmatic style, it worked out today. I don't know what this looks like outside of the group stage. I don't know what we look like against a world beater. Say we match up against Spain, we match up against England. It's going to be a completely different type of ball game, and I don't think that's going to work in our favor. But man, today felt like an elimination match. It really did.
You know what's really interesting is that we have time to prepare for any scenario. We have home field advantage. We're guaranteed first place. So like it's very unlikely that we don't get first place is what I'm trying to say. I guess it's not guaranteed. We could lose 100-0, right, against Czechia, but I don't think it's going to happen, you know? So, like, I think we have time and I think that'll allow us to plan for something for success.
Dude, seeing that replay of Tala's save in real time, it's so fast. Like those reactions were insane. And it's going to be one of those highlights that's going to be replayed until our game against Czechia on Wednesday. Overall, though, I think Korea are comfortable. You know, they got their win against Czechia and they have a much, much easier match against South Africa. They played earlier today and also lost, right? South Africa are just everyone's freaking clientes, dude. They're just giving up the goods to everybody.
They are, yeah. They're yet to score an open play goal, and I think that's what Korea was expecting. They were expecting to get a draw here, and then go into that game and just like beat the brakes out of them and secure first place on goal differential. But now we're in first, and it's a different story. So that plan has failed for them.
Yeah, so South Africa drew. They didn't lose to Czechia or what, however the fuck you pronounce the Czech Republic is what I knew
Czechia,
them as.
yeah. They tied 1-1, and I don't know. I feel like they don't look like they're here for a long time. They're just there, you know, to enjoy the I don't see them getting out of the group is what I'm trying to say.
And if they do get out of the group, it's a bye round for whoever faces them in the next round.
Well, you know, one of the things about opening up the World Cup is we are the first ones to secure our ticket to the next round, which is really nice. However, I think in typical Mexican fashion, right, when we win the group, for some reason, the other teams and other groups that we might match up against aren't doing so well. So what are the odds of us getting like Spain in the round of in the round of 32? I mean, you know, the third place team is who we'll be facing, and I'm still unsure of like who exactly that would be because there's like a couple groups that we could you know, pull from for the bracket. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think against Czechia, we definitely, I want to see some rotations. I want to see players that have been hungry for minutes. You know, Hormiga, he should definitely get some minutes. Obed showed today that we should see what he looks like in a starting role. Yeah, if I was Vasco, I would rotate the squad. I don't know about you guys.
I would too. You know, I think Obed deserves minutes. Mora, Fidalgo, Hormiga. I mean, Vasco has said it throughout the interviews that he doesn't have a starting 11, that he has 26 players, and it doesn't matter who plays at what given moment, that he has the same equal trust on them, with them. And then we saw it today. You know, last game, Hormiga subbed in, so you would think that Hormiga would sub in again. And no, this time it was Santi. So it seems that that equal trust is there. And then at the end of the day, let's trust him. Let's trust what he's doing so far because at the end of the day, it's working out.
And what a special moment for El Estadio de Chivas. It was the first time them hosting Mexico. So it was really nice for them to break in that new stadium. Well, it's not new anymore, but a milestone event for Mexico. And unfortunately, that's it. You know, the next round, I believe, will be in El Azteca, right?
Yes, we have secured 5 games at home. The rest are at Azteca. And, you know, I don't want to keep bringing up El Club Deportivo Guadalajara because it's about the World Cup. It's all about us being brothers. I'm looking at the listeners. I see America fans, Chemos, Pumas fans. I see everyone. But I just want to bring up this tweet that just came across my timeline from Mr. Chip. He said que los clubes mexicanos que más goles han aportado a la selección de México en toda la historia del Copa del Mundo es el CD Guadalajara, 13 goles, 9 jugadores. En second place, Club Necaxa, 7 goles, 4 jugadores. And then the list goes on. Pero hoy, la noche fue del Guadalajara. It's a shame that it took 3 World Cups for Guadalajara to host a match. Because if you ask me, es la ciudad más mexicana que hay en todo México.
We have Tomas joining us. I don't know if he was able to get in on the mic, but talk to us, man.
What's up, bros? Real quick, I think that the most impressive thing tonight is not an individual player or individual stat. None of that shit. Even though Tala had a nice save, all that good stuff. I think or maybe I'm using the wrong phrase. Not even necessarily impressive, but what I was most taken back by was um, how much this team is embraced and is taking on Aguirre's identity. It seems like it's a team made up not of individual players. It's just next man up mentality. And it's early, right? It's 2 games. The opponents, you can make an argument, maybe not world beaters, but that's the thing I'm most impressed with, that they're sticking to a script. They're not veering off the script. And I'll say for myself, there's quote unquote experts you see on Twitter making predictions that we were going to beat South Korea 4-0, 3-1. I think that these so-called experts are just fans in general. Myself, right? I'm not a historian or an expert of the game, but I was viewing the game or viewing Mexico under that lens of a Piojo Herrera ran team, where it's like you go out there, there's really no structure, right? And here with Aguirre, it's more so don't veer off the script. I don't care if I win 1-0, goes to penalties. It's about the W, right? We talk about you don't, at the end of the day, no one remembers if you played bonito and you lost. No one gives a shit, right? It's just the W. Seeing how some of these first games panned out for some of the quote unquote favorites, at the end of the day, we just got to be happy with the W. There's no point in looking back, right? We won, on to the next. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Sure, we could have played better, but at this point, just get the W, rest up, move on to the next one.
Gonna go into the YouTube comments real quick, and then I'll have somebody else speak up. We had Azer LP says Raul has got to be put to rest. Move Quinones to center forward and put someone else on the wings. And like said, hot take, it's gonna be more Obed/Lira. I never want to see Edson in the midfield ever again. He looks better as a center back. And he says, Via Mexico cabrones, I'm going to bed. All right, Azer, thanks for joining us. Joely, I know you've been trying to get on. Are you working? Are you in the bathroom? What's going on, bro? Maybe he's not able to speak right now. Abdias, I see you too. Talk to me, bro.
¿Qué oña, putos? ¿Cómo andamos?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
No, pues carnal, estuvo buena la noche. Pero pues el pedo, güey, es que pues mira, estaba esperando que viniera aquí Howard, pues así le puedo meter los putazos a los dos pendejos que andaban aquí ayer de que no, que les vamos a partir la madre y quién sabe qué, pero míralos, se ven más puto que el pinche potrillo en el estadio. Pinche Alejandro Fernández se miraba más joto que nada. Pero mírense ustedes, cabrones. Egg on your face? No, güey, that's not. That's how fucking embarrassed you should be right now. The only saving grace that you have is que por fin, güey, tu pinche predicción de Canadá se volvió realidad. Like, that's the only saving grace that you have tonight. Porque I told y'all, this was going to be a scrappy game. Pinche, los coreanos, güey, iban a venir, iban a echar putazos y más que nada, iban a tener calidad. ¿Y sabes cómo es que ganó México, güey? Con un pinche error del portero de ellos. No fue por el fútbol de nosotros, no fue por calidad, fue porque se apendejó el portero. ¿Y por qué? Porque le estorbó su puto defensa. Si no, se hubiera terminado 0-0. Pero no, ¿verdad, güey? Soy un pendejo, no hay pedo.
As always, Abdias brings a dumbass take because the reality is Mexico should have scored way more goals tonight. There was probably 3 or 4.
Pero el portero tenía una verga más grande que nada, cabrón. Eso fue lo que pasó. Ese portero estaba haciendo el trabajo.
Way more goals. There was a Julian and the Raúl chance.
Yep.
And the Obed Vargas.
Obed,
3 chances.
3 opportunities. I think
I don't know about way more.
They were unlucky not to be 2-0.
Guess what? El pendejo del Tala nos puso en peligro en el primer tiempo, güey. No mames. Si no, como chingas que no. He was way too far out. He was way too far out.
You're exaggerating.
First time?
Look at how much space was behind him.
The one,
Look at how much space was behind him. So of course he was going to get chipped.
Goalkeeper do much worse.
That play was offside, right? Or was it real? It was offside, right?
No, it was real.
It was offside.
It was offside.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
It was offside. The one with Sun, right? The one where he fucking
Yeah, where he does the chilena.
That's
save,
it.
It wasn't
with
called
the
offside.
machine. It was called offside.
it was called
but just
offside.
after the fact.
It was called offside. They
Just
just
after the
they just
fact.
took a really long time to call it, but
And,
nonetheless,
and that's a complaint of mine.
Yeah.
They did that like a few times. And I
Yup.
was like, dude, just fucking call it.
yeah. There was another one later in the game from the wing, and it looked really, really lethal, but they let it play on. It was like, what are you guys doing? I will say, Korea didn't have their shooting boots today, and that did us a huge favor. I think they still have to overcome that. I don't know. They just have to overcome themselves, really, because I feel like they've always fallen short against us. It's like kind of like the thing we had with Argentina, where we just dominate them. I still think Korea will get out of the group. I think they'll handle business against South Africa, and they will also feel a lot more comfortable having to play in Los Angeles. Koreatown is not too far from SoFi. So, I think they'll appreciate not having to play in the altitude in El Azteca. It looks like we have the OG Ron joining us. Welcome, Ron. How do you like the game, man?
I thought it was a shitty game. I mean, it for me, in terms of tactics, execution, it's probably right up there with the game from
Argentina?
Sweden.
Oh, sweet.
No, from Sweden. Yeah, it was a shit show. And Harley made actually a comment that I was actually thinking it as well, where Harley made a comment about the parallels between Mexico and the U.S. in the 200s, where basically Mexico would basically just advance their lines, hold possession, and then just the U.S. would just would retreat. But the difference, though, is that the U.S. side back then was basically. So what really pisses me off about this is that, okay, so you're going to concede possession, and they did for long periods of time. Vasco, right, and basically playing balonazos to what's his name, to Quiñones or to Jimenez, playing with their backs to the goal, right? Well, what pissed me off is that sometimes when they would basically, get possession and over there, it's like, okay, fucking go, take the numbers, crash the fucking box, because that's what you're supposed to do if you're going to play that type of football. But no, these fucking idiots basically, okay, they get the ball, they fucking pause, and they allow the South Koreans to come back, fall in line, and basically get possession. So for me, this was just a very frustrating game to fucking watch. It was pathetic.
Ron, I will agree with you that there was a few transitions where we finally got into their final third. There was one with Quiñones, and he was, instead of just pushing forward, he took a step back and waited for everyone to get position. And I will say, we looked really, really slow on our transitions compared to Korea. And we were lucky that we were very, very disciplined with the offside trap, and it worked in our favor, and we weren't exposed. But there were so many moments in the game where Korea exposed us on those long balls. And go ahead.
They did. And here's another thing. There's times where you knowingly concede possession, right? But in the last, I'd say, 10, 15 minutes of the first half, Aguirre didn't concede possession. Korea just took it to them. They controlled it flat out because Mexico was actually trying to recuperate, and they fucking couldn't. So, I mean, overall, I think this was just a shit game.
But Ron,
a complete shit. It was a shit show. I'm glad they got the point. I'm glad they got the 3 points and stuff like that. But if Mexico expects to go further than the to at least to the fucking quarterfinals, they either got to shit or get off the pot. You either fucking take it to them, you attack, or you fucking sit back and counter and do the fast breaks.
But
Ron,
it's styles makes fights, man.
Yeah, a quick question for you,
Yeah.
Ron. Where did you rate the opponent truthfully before this match? I don't know if you caught the pod, but we were split.
I've always said that at least in the last 20 years, 10 years, Japan and South Korea, I see them how I saw Mexico 20 years ago, that they've made great advances. very technical, very fast, very quick on the ball. They like to triangulate and stuff like that. So they're no pushovers. They're very, even though Mexico has gone the better of them, both Japan and Korea and stuff like that, and Confederations Cup and World Cup and stuff like that. They're not pushovers. They are a very good, solid team.
How do you expect Mexico to dominate them then? How do you expect them to go all out?
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I feel like
right
it's
now, no.
performance was a perfect mix of both.
So here's the thing, and I've said this before, but you guys get pissed off because I bring it up. But Mexico hasn't had a fucking test in 2 years. Gold Cup for me is not a test. So it's like we're fucking basically now, we're basically, we never took quizzes. We're fucking taking the goddamn final exam right now. And, and I'm not
even to the group stage, and they won.
And I'm like, yeah.
Pero Ron, no mames, güey. Like, we're gonna fucking dog walk them, güey. We're gonna dog walk them. Era lo que estaba diciendo Rifado y el otro pendejo ayer.
I don't care what they're saying.
They're fucking pushovers. No, verdad. This is the lie that they've been telling us for 20 years, que they're getting better, que no quitan el dedo del renglón. Pero no, güey, estos pinches cabrones saben jugar fútbol. Están aprendiendo. Blue Lock fucking worked. Like, ¿qué chingados quieres, güey? Está con madre.
Listen, I've seen Mexico on the losing end of matches where they played amazing ball. And I'll agree. It's ugly out there. It's not pretty. And there's a lot of moments in today's match where I'm like, where the fuck are we going to get this goal from? Nonetheless, we set ourselves up.
So here's the thing.
You got to think about the long journey, though.
The poetic justice, if you want to call it that, it's that Mexico scored with the goalkeeper's error, right? Because Mexico's, I think, like one of the last times that they lost to South Korea was precisely, with one of Memo's blunders, right? And but I mean, for me, I think player wise, I like the position that Edson was at. I think that's always been his natural position. One of the criticisms of Edson, when was it? When he was in Holland and even in England, was that he was very prone to passing back when he was playing defensive midfielder. So it's like, maybe that wasn't really the position for him, but since he was playing further back, for me, that's always been more of his natural position, and I liked him there. I really did. Hold on. The other comment about the wingers. Now I'm not really sure if I would try. I would actually put Quiñones. I would actually switch Quiñones and Jimenez. Yeah. Because I've always liked, I remember seeing him play in Atletico. I remember seeing him play obviously in Club America, Jimenez, and even with Wolves and stuff like that. The few games that I saw him, I always liked Raúl. Raúl for me is almost like Sagi in the sense that for some reason he played better when he was either more towards the wing as opposed to a dead center, right? So I personally, I would make that adjustment.
I don't think Raúl has the legs to do that anymore.
What's that?
I don't think Raúl has the legs to do the wing anymore. I'd rather sit him down, put Quiñones in the 9, and have somebody else on the wing.
Hey, but Ron, I get what you're saying because he played that position with Tuca.
For me, the quintessential Jimenez, the way I always saw him as the most effective, and he did this with America. He did this. In fact, one of his greatest goals that I saw him score, and it's a play that he started with give and goes and fast counter, was the goal against Liverpool a couple of years back. I don't know if you remember, where he basically he gets it, he runs it, feeds it to what's his name, his compadre.
Madama.
Yeah, that him. And then he basically sends across, and he just does this beautiful header. And for him, like I said, he's basically playing more towards the wings. But for me, like I said, overall, I'm happy. I'm really happy that they got the 3 points. I'm happy that they're first in their group. But just for me, but from the tactical standpoint, I just thought it was a very frustrating game to watch, and it didn't need to be.
Well, get used to it, buddy, because we're here for a long time, and we're gonna have to play haram ball at times. But we're in the next round, so you're just gonna have to sit and watch this torture bowl.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what were you expecting, Ron? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, dude, we don't have the tools or the talent to
I
play.
did expect to win. I did expect to win. Okay, obviously I wasn't expecting a blowout because Korea is good. They're a good team, and they have been a good team. But I expected Korea to basically play the cat and mouse game, and I expected them to basically concede more possession. That's really what I thought we were going to see. And obviously I was wrong on that.
Ron, did you not see our friendly? Did you not see the friendly we just had a couple months ago? That wasn't what they played. This is what they played. You knew what you were going into. Senor, you're talking out your ass.
Also, we've definitely had tests like Portugal, Belgium, those preparatory games. Definitely.
No mames, way. They brought their B teams.
They
You know
had,
what, Wade?
they had
At this
Paulinho.
point, right now, and I've said
they
it
were
time and
well-stocked.
time
They were
again,
well-stocked. Those were good
Mexico
tests.
is nothing more but a fucking nepo baby. All right, we got gifted this World Cup, and it's fucking set us back. We haven't had roce. We haven't been going out there and partiéndonos la madre. We've been playing fucking friendlies.
Hey, but it's much easier to start a campaign from the shoulders of a giant than it is having to, qualify for this World Cup. And I agree. We haven't been tested. Today was like the closest thing we have to like a test, and we barely scraped a win. But you know what? You gotta just take the result and run with it. It doesn't mean that it's gonna be the rest of the tournament this way. I bet you against Czechia, we'll fucking open up the coffers and start scoring some goals. I'm confident that we will.
Yeah, but no. The game against this next coming game, there's going to be. It's not really a test.
It's not really a test, but you gotta also understand the mind part of the game, like being able to go into the round of 32 and have like a really fun game with a lot of goals against Czechia. Like, I think that's also important.
No, obviously it is going to be very important, to maintain and score goals, but it's not there. There isn't a sense of pressure for this coming game, for this upcoming match. There really isn't, because Mexico's already down. Mexico's already, already first in the group and stuff like that. And I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad. But
yes, but for the opponent, there is pressure, and Mexico has to deal with that pressure. The opponent needs to win the game, and I think you guys are.
The press if we lose.
I think you guys are thinking like Mexico's come out, it's a friendly, let's score 5 goals against them. No, I think Bosco's going to stick to his ways and be pragmatic, try to keep a clean sheet against a team that needs to win and a team that's going to be attacking to get some goals. I don't think
I hope they do. I hope they do, because this would be the first time in Mexico's World Cup history that they finished the group stage with 9 points. Or 3 wins. It wasn't always 3 points, but that would be really nice.
Jesus Garcia says, I actually agree with Ron. Brian was finally able to create some chances, but goddamn, and Tata scared the shit out of me. It's so frustrating because you know what some of these players are capable of doing, and it seems like Mexico was so lost out there. Thank you, Jesus Garcia on YouTube. Guys, it's time for El Sabio to join us. Let's see if he can get caught in here. Welcome, Albert. Maybe testing out his new mic today.
I mean, you gotta ring the bell, man, because him and Abdias are about to go at it.
What up,
Albert? And he's got the African ceiling bird with him too. Congrats, bro.
Yeah, it's here. It's chirping in celebration.
Yeah, you sound good though. I know you.
Hey, I have my fan on. Is it a problem or could I leave it on?
No, you sound great. Keep going.
All right, yeah, you know what? Before fucking Abdia starts fucking ambushing me, I never said they were gonna fucking dog walk Korea. I said it was gonna be a 2-goal difference. It wasn't. And you know what? I was gonna
Oílo con la
Espérate,
pinche
cabrón,
cola entre las patas.
espérate, cabrón.
Síguele, chula,
Espérate.
síguele cantando.
I was gonna make that fucking bet, but I want to go I want to go buy a pizza, so I didn't make the bet, so I would have been fucked. But you know what? A win's a win. You know what? So many fucking times as I can remember, Mexico had just fucking been fucking shit out of luck. Fucking 94, 98, the
2014.
2006, 14.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe this is the year luck is finally on Mexico's side.
Yep.
And you know what? In these tournaments, a win's a win. It wasn't fucking pretty. I'm like Ron. It's one of the worst games I've fucking seen. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's about getting those points and trying to get first place to stay at home. And you know what? Abdias, you can talk all your shit, but you know what? A win's a fucking win. Look at the scoreboard.
We are the first team to qualify in the round of 32 at this World Cup.
Hey, after the disappointment that Qatar was.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm gonna have a brewski right now.
Yeah, you should. You absolutely should. For those new to Cantina, everybody feel free to request to speak. This is for y'all. We want to get your emotions and reactions. We're also streaming on YouTube, so feel free to send your comments there. But really, you know, there's a lot to unpack here. Overall, you know, Mexico got the dirty win. I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week. I mean, you think about that World Cup where we tied Angola, right? And we lost to Portugal. Like, we could be in a much, much worse situation, but 2 for 2. And against Czechia on Wednesday, I'm hoping we're going for the jugular and getting another victory.
6 games left, Jaime. 6 games left. That's all you
Exactly.
have to remember.
I will.
We dropped
That's
Romo,
it.
though.
Pero espérense. Ira. Let me just say this. Bailele, perrita. Y sabes que once this is done, I'll take you out for a walk para que aprendas. All right? Para que te eduques. Y con eso, neta, güey. I told y'all, I don't wish ill on Mexico. I always want for us to win. So como acaba de decir Habibi, 6 more games, putos. Y sabes que the vibes are feeling right.
It is.
So, vamos, papá. Vamos. Because you know what? Se está llenando el tanque. And, ¿sabes qué, güey? Si no ganamos, I'll burn the whole fucking house down. Pero hope is there.
Wow.
All right?
Hey, that tweet that is on the spaces is hilarious. The one with what was the name of that kid that passed away?
El
El Pirata
El
Culiacán?
Pirata. Oh, bro, that's a fucking hilarious meme right there.
He got murked. He got murked. He didn't pass away.
I know he got murked. Yeah, he got murked pretty bad. That's the other thing about Twitter, bro. Right now, it's like the best time to be looking at all these memes. But hey, we won. We
He'll
won.
live forever in our hearts, man.
We secured first place, and that's a lot farther than we were 4 years ago. So I think we should all just take this moment to enjoy it, even if it was an ugly, disgusting win.
You know what? I mean, obviously, you know the win's a win, but you got to look. I'm worried about Vasco's handling of the midfield. I mean, before I had already put before the goal. I said, "Fucking take out Romo already. He's fucking lost. He's not doing shit."
Same here, man. Same here.
And then I would have gone with Luis Chavez, but you know what? He scored the goal, and you know what? I think I know Abdias was slobbering the Koreans. Oh, the mentality and this. I was surprised that after that mistake, they fell apart. And obviously, they come back. Obviously, at the end, they try to stage a comeback. But after that goal, it was like somebody popped the balloon. It was
Two or
kind
3 opportunities followed.
¿Ves, güey? Como cada pendejo cada vez regresas por más, ¿verdad, güey? Mira, déjame te educo, güey. El pedo fue que Korea is fighting their own fucking demons right now. All right?
And
Estos
that's what
cabrones
I didn't
traen
say-
otro
didn't say what
pedo
they weren't
con su
distracted.
media,
I said that.
con ellos mismos. Neta, güey, if anything, Jaime said, oh, maybe going back to SoFi is going to work out for them. Wait, there's a larger Korean media presence there.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
just
definitely.
more internal pressure for them. And I don't know, man. They have to find a way to overcome this.
And you know
Now,
what?
what
They're
I
not
will
good.
say-
They're not good. They're not a good team.
No mames, güey.
They're not a good team.
Otra
They're not-
vez. Otra vez, güey.
They're not a fucking good team. I don't know what's your deal with them. Are you
Güey,
dating? Are you dating a Korean chick or
Ya se
something?
te subió la azúcar, güey.
Eres como una
Cálmate,
pinche
Bro,
güey.
vieja abusada, güey.
so-
Cada vez
Ya te,
regresas
su-
por
ya te
más.
se subió la
Albert.
azúcar, güey.
Albert, can I ask you a question? So, okay, if let's say Korea is trash, right? They're not good. If we barely skated by on some luck shit, that I mean,
blame it on,
could.
I blame it on
Well,
Bosco,
hold
dude.
on, hold on. What does that make Mexico? And don't blame it. What does that make us?
I blame it on Bosco. It wasn't the quiet. I blame it on fucking Bosco's alineación. That's who I blame.
No
it on.
way.
And
No, Albert, you seriously think?
and I agree with Ron. I agree. It's fucking one of the worst fucking games I've seen from Mexico.
You
and
think if he
I've
bench
seen every match
Romo-
since
That is a
94.
and
crazy
started
take,
your
bro.
boy Chavez. He started your boy Chavez instead of Romo. You think we would have been way more dominant? You think Chavez or
I think
Fidalgo
Yes.
or Mora
Chavez would have been
would have been the
scrappier.
big
He would have been more.
difference maker?
Fidalgo.
He would have been more incisive. I don't know about
It's
Fidalgo,
Bosco.
but I know
It's
Chavez
the
would have
same
been more
guy
incisive.
pulling the strings.
But you know what? You know what? The shit that this I'm not gonna try to cuss. The stuff that Bosco pulled is the same crap he pulled against Uruguay in that 2010, where he starts with Cuauhtemoc and they give away possibly going through as first place. It was the same horrible tactic, and it's in the same vein as when he took out Ramoncito Morales. As you're just scratching your head. But you know what? Like I said, Lady Luck is singing Cerito Lindo this year. So
I need
hopefully-
to go to
context, though.
I need to go to Chinatown and save a duck from getting murdered this weekend and adopt him as my mascot, because the duck, man, he's been on our side this entire run. I'm trying to get a jersey made with the emblem. Replace the Mexico eagle with the duck, dude. That's gonna be our cry to victory for the remainder of this tournament. Yo, let's talk about the man
Yeah,
of the match, Luis Romo.
Speaking of the duck, El Ganso, right? You guys saw that tweet about
Are you
no es la
talking about
primera?
Sage?
Yeah, no es la primera vez que un
Dog
ganso
has a name, okay? Se llama Merlin.
Berlín. No es la primera vez que
Merlin.
un ganso se hace famoso.
Let's talk about the man of the match, Luis
So-
Romo. Everyone talking shit
Oh,
about
no.
him. Why was he starting? What's he doing on the field? Sub him out, and he ends up scoring.
hold on. So seeing, been watching the interviews from Piojo, or not Piojo, from Vasco and Obed and stuff like that. So I mean, at least the saving grace here is that they admit that it wasn't a pretty game. So that's good. I mean, you know, they know, and yeah, I'm hoping that they are able to make the corrections for this next coming game.
All right, hold on. Really quickly, and just to take to where you want to go, Jaime. Talking about Luis Romo y que lo puteamos y todo eso, and now he's the man of the match. ¿Sabes por qué lo puteamos, güey? Porque es un pinche pendejo que no sabe hablar y no sabe decir las cosas bien, güey.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, honestly, he needs fucking media training. Because all that he tried saying was the same bullshit speech that Vasco has been giving in his press conferences. Lo importante es enfocarnos en lo que está enfrente de nosotros. No es ganar, es cómo es que vamos a plantear este juego, cómo es que vamos a jugar. No estamos enfocados en ganar el mundial, no estamos enfocados en el sexto
Abdias.
partido, estamos enfocados en esto. Pero ¿sabes qué? Es un pendejo, güey.
Abdias,
Eso es lo
these
que
are
pasó.
soccer players. They're not Rhodes scholars. Do not expect fucking articulate arguments.
He was
you
clipped out
know.
of context, man. I don't think there was anything wrong with what he said. He was just
No
clipped out of
mames,
context
güey.
by
Did
a
you not
malicious
hear him
media.
speaking?
Whoa, Rifado. Seriously? You're
Honestly,
gonna say
man.
that after the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
Chicharito situation?
Oh man, that guy has
Romo-
diarrhea.
Chicharito
Romo does
situation.
not-
Oh,
Facts,
God.
bro. It was like almost the
Facts.
same way. It was
No,
almost as
get
fucking
outta
crazy.
here.
And just
No.
diarrhea of the mouth.
Romo
One
got
has a little bit
destroyed
more
by
media
the
training.
whole
Está
country.
malo, tío. Está malo.
Romo got destroyed by the whole country for what he said, and according to you guys, it's not that bad. And I agree with you. It's not that bad, but it just blew up. But you guys blew up Chicharito. No one else did. So what does that make you guys?
Chicharito is irrelevant, man.
It makes us.
No, wait, but the thing is the delivery. That fucking diarrhea of the mouth, that shitty delivery. The only difference is that Romo literally sounds like un pinche pendejo with zero media training.
And not even
But-
that. It's the
but you-
fact that you're at home. Look, Albert was talking about when Vasco played Cuauhtemoc Blanco against Uruguay, when Ramoncito and all that. You also got to add the context that he started Romo. Everyone disagreed, pero está en su casa en Guadalajara. Está con su gente. The
And he
same thing
played
with
like
Tala.
shit. He wasn't good.
Dude,
It was one lucky bounce,
Hey,
dude.
the context plays a
No,
role.
but it's the
No, dude, the context plays a role.
the
And
context that
and
he
that's why
was crap.
Romo got shitted on, because you have el morrito, el niño polla, Gil Mora saying estamos en casa, somos los favoritos para ganar el mundial. And then you have another guy that cannot commit to saying that he will win the group, that we will win the group. That's why he got shitted on.
Well, you know what? Some of these guys are gun shy. I mean, they don't want to give the media fodder. Remember, imaginemos cosas chingonas, and how they ate Chicharito. I mean, Romo is pretty observant. I mean, Rifado could attest. He no se va a enganchar. He's not gonna give you he's not gonna give you shit. So he's very careful what he says, and you know what?
But you're
And
at home. You can't get away with
no,
that.
he's
If
that's
you're
the way
playing
he
in
is.
South
He was
Africa
just
and you're
clipped out
saying
of
you're not the
context.
favorites,
That was it.
it's okay.
Hey,
He
you're
was
at
just saying the
home.
world wouldn't end if we lost or if we didn't win, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
and
I mean,
that's
think your
and
fans
that's
I don't know.
hear that?
it was blown out of proportion so
and
much
that's
so that
taking
someone said
a
that
measured
he was
approach.
borrado, dude.
He's
Someone-
taking a
like,
measured
people-
approach.
one thing
I saw this story develop that he was like a borrado, man, that he wasn't going to play any minutes because of what he said that meeting. That was what the media was fucking trying to tell us what was
I don't
happening
know about
behind the curtain.
media. It
And
was,
instead, fucking Vasco
America
fucking
fan
starts
account.
him.
Yeah, fucking media.
one
it was
thing
America fan account.
I wanted
Don't
to-
give them that much power.
I wanted to point
I
out
heard it in a few places, man. It was talked about.
I wanted to point out something that makes a huge difference mentally, and that is how comfortable Javier Aguirre is. Obviously, this is his third World Cup coaching Mexico, but I watched the press conference ahead of the game, and he was, making fun of some of the press, like saying, "Move your big ass head out of the way. I can't see who's asking the question." And then when the Korean press asked him a question, he's like, "Hey, cabrón, hold on, give me a second." And even today in the match, the banter he had with some of the players on Korea, because he used to coach them, and the interactions he had with the referee, Aguirre is very, very comfortable, and I think that sort of it goes to the players as well. I think Mexico, the fans are the ones that are suffering, but the team seems like they're very self-assured of themselves.
But you know what? We saw this in 2002 after they beat Croatia. Everybody, hey, the El Vasco was everybody's darling. Oh, que chingón es El Vasco, le vale madre. And then after the USA game, everybody vilified him. Hopefully, Vasco is able to redeem himself over 2002 and over 2010. I sincerely hope so.
I hope so too. But I think
Third time's the charm.
his confidence today was shown. We have Ray Orozco joining us. Welcome, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, well, I work third shift, so most of the time I don't get to call in, but I'm off this week. And I would just like to say winning ugly is winning. In 3 points, Spain and Portugal would have loved to have 3 points in their back, and they
Yep.
couldn't get it. And then I would also just like to say that the mental fortitude of this team, I think when people say about playing at home, but the toxic environment of the Mexican media and the fact that they were able to pick up 3 points in both games, I think also needs to be addressed as well. We've seen Mexican teams falter mentally with silly red cards and silly other things at times in tournament play. And Chivas guy scored, so I'm happy. And so you guys have a good night. I'll listen.
Thank you, man. It's been a while, but thank you for joining us. Whew. I need another beer, man. I already killed mine.
I'm glad they gave you Juneteenth off, Ray. Not a lot of places did. My job did not. But I didn't even know it was a thing, honestly. So someone asked if we were off tomorrow, and I'm like, "What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday."
It's Juneteenth, Liberation Day.
You work with too many white people, bro.
I do.
It's so
Hey,
odd.
but I do
Go ahead.
agree with Bray in that there's like a mental fortitude with this team, and I think we're gonna be in for a treat against Chechia. Like I think he's gonna open up the attack a bit more. I think we're gonna see Romo slot into the substitution bench, and we're gonna see someone a little bit more attack minded, someone like Fidalgo, someone like Chavez, and I think we're gonna look a lot better because even though we ceded possession to Korea, even though we had 43% to their 57, we had more shots on target. We had the same amount of shots, 8 and 8, and we had 4 shots on target to their 2. So like this was part of Vasco's plan. It's uncomfortable. It's not to our liking. It's not what we're used to as the Gigante of CONCACAF. And you know, I saw that in the crowd, but it worked out, and I think it's just going to get better in the next match because
It's
I don't think
basketball. It's basketball. You think he saved all those Spanish teams playing pretty? No, it's basketball.
No. And that's the thing about the World Cup. The World Cup brings out the most casual fans. Perfect example, is the U.S. games. You go to the U.S. games when they face Australia, every bar in America will be packed. But it's the U.S. playing in the Gold Cup. No one cares. It's the same thing with the Mexico fans. They don't know Vasco's history. They don't know who Brian is, who Lira is. Like this is one of those things that you can't let that clickbait media carry you away.
The people I was watching the game with didn't know who they thought Ochoa was the goalie.
Gentlemen, I can
Joel,
speak now.
Well,
he's somewhere
Oh,
in the,
guys.
in the bushes. Welcome, bro.
Yeah, I was driving,
he
dude. I was
doing
in
in the
Santana.
bushes?
There was a bunch of fucking beaners in the street celebrating. I ain't gonna. It's in Santana, California. I was driving by there,
hell yeah.
and they were out in the street, just out in the streets, like in a boulevard. I don't know what they were doing. I drove by. I couldn't stop.
Hey,
Insurance
Joel,
payout.
did you go to
Yeah.
Plaza Mexico? Vamos al
Nah,
Ángel?
dude. Far from that. That's
No
too far
mames,
from.
güey. No vas a ir al Ángel.
No, I'm working way. I can't.
Ah, okay, never mind. I respect it.
Santana's closer. And you know what? I think Bristol gets
Yeah,
more lit
in
than
that
Plaza
area.
Mexico.
But I wanted to
Abrisco.
chime in right now. You guys were talking about the comments, and I want to see, like, point out a bit of the hypocrisy because if going into the World Cup, no, most people didn't even think Mexico was going to get out of the group stage, and they did polls. I shared some in the chat of what the average Mexican fan felt, and the majority thought, there's nothing to see here, and Vasco just came in so that we won't be embarrassed, and that was kind of the mentality going in. Right now, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, which is very important.
Yep.
2 wins, 2 clean sheets, and they won the group, which is also very important because that means you're likely to get a third best team, not even a second, a third best team. And if I'm not mistaken, then they stay at Azteca, if I'm not mistaken. So that looks pretty good. And so that's why I go,
Azteca, yes.
okay, which is perfect, which now I go into the comments because I saw Aguirre make almost the exact same comment, but he's just, as Jaime was saying, he just knows how to deal with the press. But they asked Romo, do you feel obligated to win? Right, and the key word was right there, is obligate. Like you have an obligation, like you have to win, and I agree with Chiflado, what he said. He probably didn't explain it the best way, and obviously there's no, do you want to win? Yes, they want to win, but there's no obligation. You're nothing's gonna, the main obligation I would say would be to get out of the group stage, right? So I guess he didn't explain it right. They asked, Aguirre was talking about before the match about how the reception and everything, and he said, we feel obligated to try and win. So he added to try and win. He didn't say obligated to win, to try and win. And that's the whole thing with the media, and what I'm glad Ray came in and said it, because then you say the wrong thing or whatever you say, and they're just going to use that against you, and they're going to pile it on.
Yep.
And that's why they have to be very careful with what they say. And I think that's been pretty good. And yeah, did it surprise me? Like, as Diaz was saying, everybody shitted on Romo. And he starts and he scores the fucking goal, fucking Cena,
This is the
Oh
last
yeah.
guy you expected to score, and he fucking scores. And so yeah, and I think for me, and I feel Ron, he's been a bit harsh. Even Savio, I think he's been a bit harsh on Korea. And I don't think they're the best team, but they're also not bad. Um, and Mex hasn't been their best either. So I think, and then you kind of saw what they're capable of. I think we're seeing that in a lot of these games, how even most teams are, how physical a lot of the game is as well. And I think that's why we're going to see more games like that. And why we also haven't seen, blow ups, and we've seen uh, other big teams suffer to try to get wins. And so it's not different for Mexico. My concern, though, remains. I expressed it yesterday. I said our strikers haven't been on point. They just haven't been for a long time. Santi sort of he kind of disappeared in Milan. Raul Jimenez was doing good for a while, and then he sort of got benched and hasn't kind of been there. We just had Quinones. Hormiga's still green, and he came in with. That's why so many people were so hopeful on him, because the other guys haven't been able to do it. Where there was that hope, maybe this guy, and I think that's still going to be the main thing going into the next games. And I don't think Chicago was saying the teams. I don't think it's going to look good. I think that Vasco's gonna remain pragmatic. He's probably gonna rotate some players, like you guys mentioned. Play Ochoa, give him his flowers. But then I think he'll still play like pretty defensively, kind of the way he's been playing. I don't think he's gonna change much, aside from probably give some players that haven't played, give them the chance.
Hey, there's a special message from Johnny Rico. He says, someone tell Albert that Johnny Rico says, fuck you for blocking me. Pinche sensativo, se lleva pero no se aguanta.
I don't. You know what? He got
Oh
too
shit!
happy. I love you. You know what? You know what? I respect you, Johnny, because I know they treated you wrong in the other place. But that day you were being too Americanista for me. I'm gonna unblock you. But I
But
respect
Johnny's
you.
always welcome to speak at the cantina, man.
Yeah, he's always welcome
respect
here.
You. I respect you because they treated you bad in the other place, you know. And it's just that day I wasn't. I didn't have it for your Americanismo, but you know what? I will.
Rifado was not there to give you a Dr. Pepper.
But you know
So
what? You're
merciful,
okay.
mi sabio.
You're okay in my book, Johnny.
Yeah, dude, feel free to speak up. If you want to join us.
What's up, Cantina? How y'all doing?
There he is. What's up, man?
Not much. Just life took me away from soccer. I'm enjoying the World Cup, but I'm a lawyer now.
Oh shit, he's about to sue everybody here.
You're gonna sue me.
Careful with what you said.
No, I do family law. So if you guys anybody getting divorced in California, hit me up. But yeah, good to hear from Albert. Yeah, I needed to take that little shot since none of my messages were going through.
It's okay, Johnny. You know what? And they can serve as witness. I've always talked good about you in the chat. I haven't talked shit about you.
¿A que no, güey? Aquí hasta de mentiroso.
No,
Nomás porque no puedes ver el chat, güey.
No, I haven't said
Pinche mentiroso.
I haven't said
No, para que veas, güey.
Always stirring the pot.
Always stirring the pot, bro.
They treated him unfairly in the other podcast.
El pedo salió con the rivalry between San Diego and LA. Ahí nos andamos cagando palos todo el tiempo with San Diego and LA.
My blood pressure was up that day, Johnny. But you know what? I've always talked well about you.
Órale, pues. No, just wanted to say hello. What's up? Qué bueno que ganó México. Viva México, cabrones. Hopefully Ochoa plays. And I'm out.
All right. Thank you, Johnny Rico. Yeah, dude. It's going to be nice waking up tomorrow knowing we're already qualified, and hate watching USA against Australia tomorrow, 12 p.m.
The audacity to say that Ochoa should play after the performance that Rangel put in, but maybe a late substitution against the Czech Republic might be in the cards. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Yeah, I don't think it would be smart for him to start. I understand that they want to give him his going away game. But let's say it's a complicated game that most folks were not expecting. and Ochoa is blocks 10, 15 shots. You know, it's not gonna happen, but he blocks like 4, 5 crucial shots. Now you're putting the doubt. Why you want to fuck the confidence that's going on right now? Like start Tala if you really want to give Ochoa his homage. Put him in those last 15 minutes. I think you have a lot more to lose by starting him the full 90 as far as the locker room and the confidence within your starting goalkeeper.
I agree. No, I think you got to keep the consistency in the back. But I think Ochoa will have his moment in the World Cup now that we're qualified. Another thing too, from what I understood, the yellow cards don't carry over to the knockout phase. Everyone gets a clean sheet. So if anyone's worried about getting like a red or a yellow, they're still going to be eligible for the next match.
So Montes is coming back for the next game then.
What was that?
Is Montes coming back for the next game? It's only a 1-game suspension.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
No, it's just the 1-game suspension, and also furthermore is they get taken off in the like every single round, every filter that you go through. I think it's en los cuartos y después de las semis, everything gets wiped off. So the whole thing is that no player will miss a final because of red cards.
Yep.
Entonces, para que estén listos, carnales.
All right, I have something to ask you guys. What is your advice to maybe a Mexico fan that is just watching the World Cup for the first time, or maybe a casual fan? Tomorrow and tonight, you're going to hear the media say that Mexico looked terrible, right? That's going to get the headlines that they looked sluggish and this, that, and the other. Now, put into the fact that maybe, let's say, USA tomorrow golea Australia. You're going to hear everybody on USA's nuts. What would your advice be to a Mexico fan on how to drown out the bullshit media hype that Mexico maybe is playing like shit?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Go ahead.
No, it's just well, you know, but as it is, the casual fan doesn't look at Picante, doesn't go on. My uncle doesn't go on X. They just whatever Telemundo says, and Telemundo's pretty copacetic. You know, they don't go into hard critique. So I think the casual stays away from the toxic stuff.
The casuals on TikTok, man. Whatever TikTok is saying, that's what they're gonna repeat. So I deleted it, but you guys let me know what the current influencer is saying.
It's funny. You know, on the I just saw it on my timeline. Tactical Manager, he says Mexico tops the group as expected. The game itself was bad, and Mexico got lucky. Both of these teams won't go far in the knockout rounds. They should just be happy to be there. What a fucking hater.
Hey, since 1994, the two teams that had made it out of that group stage the most is Brazil and Mexico. That's all I'm going to say.
Repeat that again.
Since 1994, the teams that had made it the most out of the group stage is Brazil and Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, we fucked up Qatar.
Well, actually, Brazil can surpass us if they make it out of this one, but as of now, we are tied.
Wait, surpass? Brazil's been surpassed Mexico. Wait, what do you mean?
Since 1994.
Well, yeah, but Brazil's never missed it. Mexico did.
So
we reset, bro.
No, I'm talking about comparing everybody else.
No. Hold on. We didn't miss it, way. We didn't miss it. We got
manager.
We got punished.
Manager.
No, I mean, since '94, before the Qatar hiccup, before the Qatar hiccup, the only two teams that had advanced past the group stages consistently was Brazil and Mexico. So right now it's only right now basically like we're basically on the same boat with Argentina, because Argentina since '94 they've only missed they only failed to advance out of the group stages, and that was in 02 Japan Korea.
Yeah, so
You know?
Argentina right now is at 7, and once they qualify mathematically, they're gonna be at 8. But as of right now, it's Mexico and Brazil at 8.
Now, really quickly, I want to address what Tomas said, right? What is our advice to the casual, right? You, at this point, wait, neta, te pones la camiseta cada 4 años, ¿verdad? No sabes quién es el portero, estás preguntando por qué chingados están cantando el Celito Lindo a media transmisión. ¿Sabes qué, güey? Grab a fucking can of petroleum jelly, lube up, and just enjoy the ride. All right? Because at this point, you're just here for the vibes. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Just admit that, like, just enjoy the fact that there's a huge party going on in Mexico and the copium is hitting. All right? We seem to be going in the right direction. Now, the main thing is, and we've said it before, it's been said before, and if not, just know the fucking history. We haven't really won anything on the global stage.
When
All right.
Olympics and Confederaciones don't count.
Olympics, hey, everyone puts a fucking asterisk on Olympics, ¿verdad? Even you do. Entonces, no
No, I
estés
don't.
aquí, don't be
No,
here. Siempre
no,
saying
no.
que no, que
Brazil
it's
couldn't
under
win it.
23.
Brazil couldn't win the Olympics. It's not like they didn't care about it.
So, siempre le están poniendo un
Brazil-
pinche asterisk. Hey, güey, cállate el puto hocico,
No.
déjame terminar. So, siempre le están
No,
poniendo un
no.
pinche asterisk.
I
Y
don't
luego el
count
otro, güey,
confederaciones.
y luego la
I don't
otra
count
es confederaciones también, ¿verdad? Porque
I
ya
don't
no
count it. It
existe.
doesn't
It's official
fucking
FIFA
exist.
tournament.
¿Verdad? Ya no existe. Y luego el
What
otro
does it
fue...
matter? It was official
hey,
FIFA
El último
tournament.
que
Let me
ganamos
go- let
fue,
me go to
fue la
town on this.
sub-17, ¿verdad? Entonces, aquí está el pedo. You're here for the vibes. We might actually do something important here. But what we're looking for the 6th game, if not more. All right? And right now, it looks like we're going there.
Hey, like I said in my Mexico preview, I said that as long as they make it past the round of 16, it's Mexico's playing in house money, and you know what? It looks like luck is on the Mexico side, so
Well,
I'm
Well, just
feeling
getting out of the group stage, they already beat the expectations. The expectation was that they weren't going to get out of the group.
No, but
They were
you know
gonna
what?
do the
Not with this
ridicule.
haters. Not with this fucking
Nah,
group. Come
that's a
on.
lot. It was a
Not
lot,
with
dude.
this
It was a
group.
lot. Come on.
Not with this group, dude. Come on. It was just a bunch of toxic people, haters. But you look at
No,
the group.
God.
South Korea. Come on, South Korea. I mean, South Africa. South Africa was their league is not even in the top 30 in the world. And
They,
that's where most
they
of the players come
take
from.
Czechia.
And no, check it. Come on, one of the worst Euro teams. Come on, it's not the Peter Cech days.
It's
South
look.
Korea,
Well, look what we just saw.
Hey,
Okay, look what we saw today earlier. We saw Bosnia get their shit pushed in. What, they lose like 4-0? And that's
Yeah,
the
but
team that
hey,
left out Italy.
Yeah, but
That's
come
the
on,
team that
Italy.
left out Italy.
Hey, who hasn't left out Italy? Who hasn't?
Oh, dude, no. Well, I'm
Who
just telling
hasn't?
you, shit's not always as it
Who
seems.
hasn't?
North
It was 0-0
Macedonia,
at
bro,
the
left out
85th
Oh,
Italy.
come on, Joel, get with it. Come on.
Once again, Northern Macedonia fucking bounced out Italy.
¿Quién no los elimina, por favor?
Hey, Tomas, to answer your
So,
question. Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
well, my question is my question to Tomas was why that question?
And I'm glad you asked, Ron, because it's the World Cup. It comes once every 4 years, right? And this podcast, I don't know. I see some faces in the chat that I haven't seen before, and I think this is going to circulate after recording. The reason I ask this is for you old heads and the experts to also give some background to kind of what the desmadre is with this team, because this very dynamic that we're having here, where we can't even fucking agree on what what is success for this team and what we've accomplished, is kind of the beauty of what it is to follow Mexico. And one thing that gets lost in translation, even for myself, because I've been on this roller coaster. We're at the point in the roller coaster right now where I'm basically saying I'm ready to get hurt again. And this is like, for a lot of fans that are new to this, they're like, I'm just here for the vibes. But I was curious genuinely, because I see on Twitter before, like Joel mentioned, there was some people saying that we were not going to make it out of the group stage. And then I see maybe some like supposed experts on TV say that Mexico's playing terrible. And I'm just curious to see what you guys think, because it's like the media is going to say that we're shit, but also the real opinion comes from the people that actually follow the team. So,
Well, Tom, I will say that Mexico is in a very unique situation. If you look at CONCACAF, we're expected to be the kings of CONCACAF, dominate everybody, beat everybody 4-0. Then you look at a World Cup status since 1994, Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina are the top three that had made it out of the group stage. But if you look at Mexico in the actual World Cup, we haven't gone far as as like semifinals. We haven't achieved that. And then you also look at Mexico that plays most of its games outside of Mexico. We played in the U.S. So I can understand why the casual would think that we don't play great, because to quote Joel, the Mexico fan is spoiled when they see the achievements at the youth level, the Olympics, the Gold Cups, the rivalries with El Clásico with USA, and then we are the Nations League champions, we are the Gold Cup champions. So they expect us to be this giant that we are not. Look at Spain. Spain, since they were champions, they have only won 3 group stage games. Mexico has won 6. So the stats, like qualifying out of the group stage, winning these youth tournaments, winning the Olympics, Confederations Cup, winning more group stage since 2010 than Spain, who are always favorites since then to win the World Cup. It just creates these false expectations that, as crazy as it sounds, the resume does not back it up, because we're like
So,
the big fish in the little pond.
so going back to the reason why Tomas even asked this question as to like, for the casual Mexican American fan, what's, I think if you compare the World Cup to like the '94 World Cup experience, and that's like, when, and Hoyle, he'll verify this, right? What '94 did. Now you have to keep in mind that back then, watching Mexican League was kind of difficult for the guys like for the guys living along the border on the U.S. side. It was a little easier for them to watch games, right?
You had to have a satellite.
Right. So the thing about what '94 did, and obviously I was in high school at that time, it basically, it's like everybody turned in and basically it's like, wow, we can watch soccer now. And almost immediately, forget MLS, but just almost immediately, you were able to start watching more league games. And I'll be honest. I mean, really, almost right after the '94 World Cup, I really lost interest in basketball. I kind of lost interest in American football. I mean, I still watched baseball, but then boom, '95. You had Copa America, watching Mexico and Copa America, and then you had obviously the Olympics in '96, and then you had '97. You had the awesome Copa America, and even though Mexico didn't win, they fucking played awesome against Brazil. Okay, and then '98 was a phenomenal, fun World Cup to watch. '99, you had another great Copa America. Okay, and also losing to what was it, Brazil in the semifinals. So
you're forgetting all those Gold Cups in between.
I mean, for me, the Gold Cups, it's like, okay, whatever.
But you know what?
You know,
You know what? A lot of
but
people would pay $15 to go watch those games in bars or salones. So
so so but the thing about it is that the landscape was different back then because because TV dominated, right? And to the point where it's like it got to the point where it was us against them, and that's how the media played it out, the narrative, like Mexicans against the non-Mexicans, and it created rivalry. They fed that. Nowadays, with the social media landscape, it's a little different, right? And if I were to, I mean, if I wouldn't push Mexico like the national team as the brand because you don't really want fair weather fans. I would push the league because the league is really what's going to make you a fan of the game because you're going to watch that, day or week in, week out. That's what's going to make you a fan. Not so much that.
They already pushed the brand, the Mex Tour, Somos Locales. It's all about the brand.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is that I would use the opportunity to market the league more than the national team because that's where you want. That's the fan that you want. You want that next generation to keep following Liga MX and not NBA. What's that?
They've done the opposite. It feels like they did the opposite, at least the media, which is why anytime you have a player that looks half decent, they're already begging to send that player abroad. And by default, you're like shitting on the league. You're like saying this league sucks, and you can't do nothing. If they don't go abroad, nothing's gonna happen. And I just quick to make the point. Pretty much all of Mexico's success has come with Liga MX based players. All the tournaments they've won, it's been home based. All of it. And it sucks that we keep trying to look for answers abroad.
So I know you're right. And that's why sometimes it bothers me, and it's not this, and this isn't a boomer take. It just goes with the teams that keep winning at the top level. It starts with having a strong league and a strong foundation, and that's why I said if anything, I hope that this World Cup not necessarily creates more Mexico fans as opposed to like they support the U.S. or or they'll support Canada or whatever. I hope that they tune in to Liga MX because that's. Yeah,
I could relate to what you're saying because after the 94 World Cup, that's when I started getting, my interest started growing in Mexican soccer. My dad was a Chivas fan, so that's how I started following Chivas. So yeah, I could see this happening.
97 was the key because that's when Galavisión came about in cable.
Yeah, definitely.
Once I had Galavisión, I can't remember the last time I watched a basketball game because all my attention was Liga MX, and for things that I couldn't watch Liga MX, I would go into some little bar like back then in Houston at Rita's Pool House to watch like Copa Libertadores and stuff like that. But then finally, you had Fox Sports, pick up Liga, the Libertadores and stuff like that. So for me, again, I hope that this World Cup grows obviously the fan base, not fair weather fans, but actually soccer fanatics, and more so that they tune in to Liga MX. That's my hope for the reason that Joel pointed out.
We went an hour and 24 minutes before Ron mentioned Copa Libertadores. Congratulations. Let's get
But
back
you know
on
what?
topic.
Eran
New
noches
record.
mágicas de Libertadores. That Chivas versus Boca is still the best game I've ever
Yeah,
watched.
way. We talk about
¿Saben
this
qué,
every fucking
putos?
episode.
No, es el puto mundial. No voy a tener esta puta
I
conversación otra
know,
vez.
bro. You guys
Ya,
talk
güey,
about
se
it all the
Hey,
chingó.
fucking
cut
time.
down.
Cállense el
Can I answer
puto
that?
hocico. No mames,
Hey,
güey.
You
Hey,
guys
the
always
grown-ups-
talk about the
grown-ups
same
are talking,
fucking
Dios.
shit, bro.
Cada
The
puta
grown-ups are talking
semana.
of Diaz. The grown-ups are talking. Pipe
Oh
down.
my god.
No
Hey,
mames,
so
güey.
I
Los
wanted
que no
I
han,
wanted to
ten- los,
answer
los que no han
Thomas's question real
olido
quick.
una puta panocha en 30 años están hablando. No mames.
Thank you for that, Abdias. But if you guys, so Thomas, for your question to the casuals, what I want to say is that this World Cup and any World Cup involving Mexico is a party, and my advice to them is learn to dance cumbia, go to a watch party, and enjoy the party, because that's all. That's what this is for a casual. For the real fans, it's like torture, a tragedy that's repeated every 4 years. But for the casual, it's a good time, man. So disfrútalo.
Yeah, guys, let's stay on the topic of this match. What you guys think about the subs? I was not a fan of seeing Orbelin over Gil Mora. Gil Mora didn't even get featured today. We had Israel Reyes come in. We had Santi Jimenez come in. Israel Reyes, Santi Jimenez, Obed Vargas, and Chino Huerta.
I think with those two subs in the midfield, Mexico lost its form. I mean, and that's when Korea got its another win and started barrage. I mean, Obed had that good run at the end, but I think him and Orbelin just they weren't able to fill in the gaps, and I think Mexico lost control of the midfield. But the other changes, you know what? It was. I remember Sotcliffe had said about Santi because Aguirre was talking him up. He put him in, but he really didn't do much. I thought it was Hormiga time, but being that he was at home and he had already gone with Roma, but you know what? It's to make it short. My main gripes are with those two midfield subs.
¿Sabes qué, güey? I'll come in here and throw some really quick putazos. So here's the deal. I
Dale.
really like el pedo fue. A mí me gustó Orbelin, güey. He gave us something different. He gave us that little bit of excitement, and he was explosive.
Yeah, but you
he
didn't need
did
that at
what
that
he-
point of the game. You didn't
Güey,
need
estaba
that. You-
gambeteando. Queríamos el segundo gol, ¿verdad? Queremos ganar. Según tú, we're gonna dog walk. So let's
That's
fucking
not
dog
that's
walk.
not basketball.
Vamos-
though. That's not
vamos-
basketball.
Wait, pero that's how Orbelin plays. Orbelin is a fucking pit bull and he's gonna do what he does. Y sabes
They
qué,
ne-
güey, al fin,
they needed
he's
to
gonna
tighten
do that
up.
little dance. Entonces, here's the deal. Orbelin
The
did a
Oaxacan
good
dance?
fucking job. Yeah, the one of that she was a cowgirl. She used to do like horseback riding. He said that he used to go watch her at the rodeo and that she used to do her like little dance, and that's where he picked it up from. So it's actually
Is he
really
from
cool.
Oaxaca or Chiapas?
He's from Guerrero.
I don't know, güey.
Oh, hold on.
Orbelin,
Entonces-
man, he's from Tierra Caliente.
Pero como estaba diciendo, güey, Orbelin, I like that change. The one that I didn't like Chino. I didn't feel like Chino
Yeah.
really gave us anything. If anything, it was like putting in two players of the same qualities. You put in Chino and you put in Orbelin. They give you the same output. All right? Or at least they give you the same hustle. Ese de que te voy a gambetear, I'm going to try to accelerate the game. I'm going to do all of these things. That's what they do, and we didn't need that at that time. And furthermore, I will say that, wait, and I hate this porque, pues, mira, mi papá tenía gallos de pelea, yo crecí en esta pinche vida donde creas a un pinche animal, lo amas, lo quieres y al fin del día le amarras navajas al espolón y lo mandas a partirse la madre. ¿Y sabes qué? Cuando no lo puede hacer, lo tienes que limpiar lo tienes que recoger y tienes que limpiar la sangre. ¿Y sabes qué? Ese es mi pinche Santi ahorita, güey. ¿Sabes qué? Give me hormiga. Se chingó, mijo. Te di suficiente tiempo, estuviste ahí, estuviste picando piedra, pero ¿sabes qué, güey? Time to step aside.
You know
We've
what?
given
It
you
was my
enough
moment
time.
Yeah, but let's clear up. The reason you're mad is because he has the Argentina flag on his boots. I agree. But that's why you're mad.
Yeah, I did say I had to disown him for that, but I stand behind it, way. Like, he came on and no fue revulsivo. The best thing that he did was that challenge where he did that high press and he got us a corner kick. No, it was a goal clearance, but he just stopped that attack from the back and luego se enganchó con la afición.
You know who needs a purple heart? Fucking Piojo, man. That guy is doing so much dirty work.
He does the yeah.
Piojo did the dirty
He put
work,
on the
man.
overall. He put the overall on.
I
And
was
you know
gonna ask
what?
you guys,
Good for him.
do y'all have a source or somebody that can tell us who's covering the most distance in a game for Mexico? Like, how do we rate what this man is doing? Because
Let's look at Opta stats. Let's see what they say.
yeah, because
They've been uploading the stats on FIFA every day. I have to go find that website again. But yeah, FIFA themselves have been releasing the data.
Hey, you know
we
what I
already
liked
talk
about what's his name? El Chino coming on? That it showed to the casual fans that we were talking about that he has no business starting over Piojo. I know that Chino subbed in for Julian, but when the game actually starts, it's going to be Julian and Piojo or Chino. And if anyone is still hating on Piojo and you saw Chino sub in and just be a body, not do anything significant, and you still think that Chino deserves to start over Piojo, then you got to look yourself in the mirror.
Did we already talk about that nutmeg and cross to Quinones in the first half? Fucking beautiful.
Yes, and that's what he does, and that's how he got an assist against Raul. And you know, Raul, he needs to be very thankful with Piojo because it's the reason that little hat trick was able to go to sleep and suck his thumb that night. Because thanks to Piojo, you know, all the haters that, well, they were calling us haters on Raul. Raul still has not shown that he's any better than Hormiga or Santi. The only thing that's showing is that he got that assist. No, he got that goal thanks to the assist from Piojo. But most importantly, he's just doing cardio out there. That link up game that you said, 9.5, we didn't see that today. Was he in the 9.5 today? That you saw him dropping deep like Harry Kane and sending long passes to his wingers, flicking the ball with his head to his wingers, opening the game up? Didn't see that whatsoever.
The website is fifatrainingcenter.com. I'll send you guys the link. But they have the match report for literally like every game. It's really nice. It hasn't been released yet for this match that we just had, but I'm sure it'll be out later today.
Oh, and Orbelin is from Coyuca de Catalan Guerrero, so he's my
There you
paisano.
go. Another good one. My advice to the casual: stay away from social media. It's a lot of misinformation. You're gonna have a lot of bad takes, and a lot of the other media kind of fuels that. So, like the TV shows, a lot of them will then. That's kind of where they get their takes from. They're not really original. They'll listen to Fútbol Picante or whatever show, and then they'll just echo it in their own words. So it's a lot of bad takes. There's some shows I haven't seen any this time. I remember seeing Los Maestros, the last World Cup with La Volpe, and that was a really good show. I know they redid it with different cast. I haven't been able to see it. Have you seen it? Is it?
Yeah, it's not as
Haven't
good.
you guys seen it?
I've seen it. It's not as good.
It's not as the one from 4 years ago was really good. They'll do really excellent breakdowns of the match. A lot of good stuff there. So I mean, I'm not saying all the shows are bad, but you're gonna have to dig around till you find a quality one where they really give you good info, proper analysis and breakdown.
And you know what? Stay away from TikTok videos. There's a lot of engagement.
Oh
on it.
yeah, damn.
There's this guy who was he knew it was a fucking lie. He was saying that Mexico could play Brazil in the quarterfinals at SoFi, which is impossible. It can't happen.
Yeah,
But you know what?
Oh
It's
shit.
engagement. Oh, and then he made another one where he was shitting on Central American fans. It was like, you know what? Just stay away from TikTok.
Hey, but make sure to follow us on TikTok because Rifado and Jaime.
Oh
put a
yeah,
lot of
follow
work
our
into it.
account. Follow us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
follow
go watch
Cantina.
Jaime
follow-
unboxing videos.
And follow El Sabio Sports. I just put some Luis Romo videos. Up
Yeah, there you go. Guys, I want to keep this one short because we went for 2 hours last night. So I'll give everyone the opportunity to get closing thoughts, and we'll put a bow tie on this evening.
I go first. A win's a win. It wasn't pretty, and on to the next one, and get the 9 points and stay in El Azteca. Good night, guys.
Awesome. Thank you,
I'll go
Albert.
second. I think Aguirre's been proving a lot of people wrong. And I think despite what he achieved, I think there's still a lot of doubts on him. Uh, and I get it. It's part of the game. So I think he still has a lot to go. I think this team is going to be scrappy. It's going to continue being this way. Uh, but I hope they could keep building momentum. So I think now having the first place assured and two, which is also important, 2 clean sheets, I think allowed them to work more and a lot of the players relax a bit more. Um, and so I'm hopeful this team can play a 6 game and not just get bounced back after the group stage.
For sure. Thank you, Joel, for joining us. Who's next?
Real quick, I'm not sold on this team, but I'm not gonna be negative. I guess I'm cool with them winning. Um, the next game, I don't know what we'll see from it. Hopefully a win. I just want to see them get tested, like legit tested. But it's still early, right? It's still early in the World Cup. A lot can change. These same conversations we can have now could be meaningless in a week or so. But yeah, man, World Cup North America. I'm just happy I don't have to see this shit at like 3 in the morning. That's it.
Awesome, Tomas. Thank you for joining us. Who's next?
All right, está bueno, caballeros. I'll go next. And now, I've done my fair share of gloating tonight. I have said my piece, so therefore I will not be a dick about it this time. But what I will say is, look, guys, Mexico's heating up. There's this fucking je ne sais quoi in the air, my dear good sir. And if you go outside and you're around footy heads and you know what's happening, there's magic in the fucking air. All right. Right now is the time where, yeah, Tomas said it earlier, man. I'm ready to get hurt again. All right. I'm ready to go out there. I'm ready to do all of it. So, ¿saben qué, cabrones? Estoy dispuesto a ponerme la verde y decir, vamos, México. ¿Verdad? Because we're heating up, things are looking good. And here's the deal, it was never going to be pretty. We knew what Vasco was. We knew that there was going to be betrayal. We knew that there was going to be disappointment. We knew that there was going to be hurt. But at the end of the day, he was going to get us somewhere. There's a reason why we're bringing him in for the third time. And even if he doesn't, we're laying the groundwork for something bigger. So as of right now, enjoy the ride. Let's see how far this thing goes. Lo más importante es, this is our World Cup. The US has the stadiums, but they don't have the culture. Canada got 2 fucking games. All right, like 2 venues. Mexico, we are providing the soul of the World Cup. When the foreigners come to our country, you know what they say? Holy shit, the Mexicans. When the foreigners come to the States, it's the Americans that are impressed by them. Entonces, Mexico, in my book, is favored to win this just off of vibes, off of momentum, the way things are looking, especially taking into account that the Euros aren't performing that well. So, Mr. Casual, enjoy the vibes. Mr. Diehard that listens to these episodes, enjoy the pain. And at the end of the day, we'll all drink tequila and celebrate. Y con eso, les digo, hasta la próxima.
Let's go.
Yeah, Diaz, building off that, it's like that comedian said, the documentaries about murder and stuff are around Americans, and then the cool crime movies are about the Latinos, the Mexicans. And then as far as the casual fans, I do want to say that enjoy it. Enjoy being a casual. You have a lot of guys that uh, go deep into the stats. They know everything about every player, every coach, and that can also be a torture. You know, they expect a lot more than what the team should actually deliver. Focus on the beauty of the World Cup. You know, focus on where were you 4 years ago? Where are you now? Where you might be 4 years from now. You know, I told my buddies the other day when we saw the last Mexico game, I was like, hey, you know, guys, enjoy this moment because there's no guarantee that the next Mexico opener game we will all be together, but we are now, and that is beautiful in itself. You know, we even have Tomas talking about the cool schedule of being able to watch it. uh, Me personally, I like those 2, 3, 4 in the morning games. Like it just made it feel like more exotic. Like it's the World Cup. It's not every day that I wake up at 2, 3 in the morning to watch a soccer game, but there's no exceptions. I'm gonna build my schedule around this. So enjoy that beauty. You know, you don't have to put up with Amauri y sus pendejadas, la selección jugando moleros against Bolivia. You just tune in every 4 years. You enjoy the moments and keep enjoying that. There's nothing wrong with being a casual. But outside of that, vamos Mexico. There's only 6 games left. Como dijo Gil el Niño Polla Mora, why not us?
For sure, Habibi. Thank you for joining us. Who's left?
All right, I guess I'll go if that's all right. And I just wanted to jump into my prediction for the next match, the third game for Mexico in the group stage. And so I think we're going to see a few changes, and I think we're going to see Romo on the bench, and hopefully we see someone like Fidalgo or Chavez start, and we see a more attack-minded Mexico against the Czechs. And so I think we're going to win that one by 2 goals. So it's going to be 2-0, and I think we're going to keep the clean sheet because from what I've seen thus far, Vasco prefers the defense. That's where his focus is. It's defend first, and then the attack comes second. So I think we're going to keep the clean sheets, and I think we're going to beat Czech, and I think it's going to be a little bit more attack minded. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, to all the fans, I think we're in for a treat because the attack hasn't quite clicked yet. We had a lot of good opportunities against Korea and a lot of missed opportunities against South Africa. I think they're going to heat up, and I think it's going to start clicking, and it's going to happen against the Czechs. So that's all I have. Thank you, everyone.
I don't know if Ron wants to go, but I actually had a question for Ron. What's our record in World Cup in El Azteca? Are we undefeated in El Azteca?
Have we in the World Cup? Has Mexico lost in the World Cup? No. They lost in the '70 World Cup. They lost to Italy, but that was in Toluca, in the original Bombonera. And then they lost in '86 to Germany in the quarterfinals at the Tech. So they
official games only 2.
So yeah, so they have in World Cup they haven't lost. Now, my final thought has to kind of piggyback off what Tomas was kind of talking about, and I made a comment. What was it? I think a couple of days ago, where there was a stat about how many players are, representing the Premier League and La Liga and Serie A and stuff like that. And it pissed me off that MLS has more players than Liga MX. Because as I was watching, for example, Paraguay, I watched Paraguay, I watched Ecuador, I watched Colombia, watched Uruguay, like Colombia, Ecuador, especially Paraguay. When you would see them in previous World Cups, they had a lot of players from Liga MX. And it just seems like the Liga MX at this World Cup, it doesn't seem like it has a strong presence, and that kind of bothers me.
Ron, that's a
So,
lost battle. The
what's
defending
that?
champs. That's a lost battle. The defending champs are Argentina. They had 2 MLS players in their starting 11. The guy who's tied for the top scorer of all time in the World Cup is an MLS player. Like you're just gonna need to let go of that.
No. That's kind of like an anomaly. Okay. With Messi
When
and
has
all that.
Mexico done it though?
What's that?
When has the Liga MX done it though? When has Liga MX had 2 starters in the starting 11 for the defending champs in their opening game? I mean, you just got to focus now more on quality over quantity.
Well, that's my point. That before you had a lot more Liga MX representation, like players from Costa Rica, players from Colombia, players from Uruguay. Actually, Uruguay was pretty well represented, now that I think about it, in this edition. But, I mean, like, for example, Paraguay, Ecuador, and stuff like that. I mean,
Chile.
Chile, and it's just like that bothers me because for the most part, Mexico, that Liga MX was able to poach the players from, like, if they weren't sought after at big clubs in Europe, you were still getting really good players from like from Chile and stuff like that, and I mean, that just, like I said, that just it kind of bothered me, and I hope that after this World Cup, Liga MX does a little soul searching and improves the product, and is able to.
You're not getting those players, Ron. We're not getting those players, man. We're not getting those players. We're just not. Saudi oil money and MLS is going to take them off, but we don't need them. You have youth, and we could get other like players, but Libertadores, yeah, I know the guys hate that, but I think that.
Well, that was
a big role. There was talk recently of going back. Even there was talk of returning. Even MLS would send a team or two, to make sense because of Messi and friends. But that tournament's needed because it promotes the league and it promotes the players.
When I mentioned that stat that I saw a couple of days ago, how each confederation and each club and league was represented at this World Cup, that was actually my comment, was that if we were, still in the CONMEBOL's tournament, right, that number from Liga MX would be a lot higher. But I think you're right. I think that I think MLS is going to consistently have more players, especially at the World Cup. And for me, that's sad, but it is what it is. And with that, I close.
For sure. Well, hey, thank you all, especially people unfamiliar with Cantina. Welcome. We encourage you guys to return to a future episode. We always go live after every Mexico match, especially in the World Cup. So stay tuned for further episodes. We also record it and distribute it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts in case you missed out earlier in the episode. My closing thought, you just got to celebrate and enjoy the moment. I know it was an ugly win, but we've had teams like Spain, we've had teams like Portugal, we've had teams like Belgium unable to get a goal or unable to get 3 points. Ronaldo has 0 goals. Luis Romo has 1. That is the beauty of this World Cup. So enjoy the moment. Don't pull out tonight. Have fun. Celebrate. Hopefully you got the holiday off tomorrow. If not, call in sick. Enjoy the weekend. And make sure to hate watch USA tomorrow. Hopefully Australia puts a school on them. But that being said, thank you all so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.